Hello. Hi. How is everybody? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay. Hello. It's been a minute. I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off for the past month, but I'm finally back home at my house, and I wanted to go live because I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Hello, hello. I was in Toronto. I was busy. I've been very busy. Just doing my thing, doing what I do best. But yeah, so I actually have a lot of work to do today that I have to get done. But beforehand, I wanted to come on here because I was bored. I needed to take a break. But real quick, let me make sure there's nothing going on in the background of this video that I don't want you guys to see. I don't believe so. I think we're good. Yeah, so today I just real quick, I wanted to do a tour of my sharp objects. This is not related to the TV show, but I understand that it sounds like that. Are my piercings new? Actually, I did get some new piercings recently. I got a second lobe piercing done about a year and a half ago, but I just got a third lobe done in September, and then I've had this one since I think I got the second lobe done, so it's been a bit of a minute. Also, I know my hair is growing so fast. It's kind of out of control. It's almost back to normal. I can't be trusted with a pair of scissors, but whatever. So today I wanted to do a tour of my sharp objects. I have a lot of sharp objects, and I keep them all in my sharp objects box, which is this thing right here. I found this in the attic of an abandoned house that I used to hang. Oh God, I need to rest my arm on something. I got this in the attic of an abandoned house that I used to hang out in Florida. It's been bought now and someone's renovating it, which makes me a little sad. But oh, I keep all my pokey tools in here. It's red velvet inside. It's beautiful. But I'm going to just kind of show off some of my stuff. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, red velvet interior, lace exterior, very beautiful box. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get started with the stuff that's in it. First of all, I have this. This isn't really a sharp object, but it's a femur, I believe. I can't remember if I found this one or if a friend gave it to me. I think a friend may have given me this one. But it's kind of cool. I really like this part. You can see the like where the joint was or whatnot. Very cool. I'm just going to put the ones that I've already looked at over here so I don't do the same one twice. Animal or human? I don't know. I'm not an anthropologist, so I don't know if this is a human or animal bone. I would imagine it's an animal bone. I would hope that it's an animal bone, because if this is a human bone, I don't really want to go to jail, but whatever. Now, I did not make this, but this is a deer foot knife. I've had this one for a while. I think I got this back in Florida, but it's a deer foot knife. Very cool. Shiny. You know what I'm saying? I love this part. I love the hilt. I don't know what that was. I like that. Such a cute little deer foot. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Next up I have, now this is not a knife, this is just a deer foot. I put a ribbon on it and I hung it from the roof of my last house in Florida, the last place I lived before I went to Indiana. And I had this hanging on the roof, like from the rafters of the porch. And when people would come over and come to shows or whatever, I would make them like touch the deer foot. But yeah, this red ribbon is actually a shoelace from a pair of 10-inch pleasers that I bought back in 2017 that I just kept for forever. I told myself I was going to do something with it, held on to it for 4 years, and this wound up being what I did with it. But yeah, this is a deer foot. I found this under a bridge at the Munson Slough in Tallahassee by the airport. I used to hang out there all the time, especially during COVID. I would just hang out under the bridge and walk around. It's one of my favorite places in Tallahassee to kick it at. But yeah, this deer foot was just like waiting for me in a little patch of grass. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It kind of smells like taco seasoning now. It used to smell really bad, but you know, it's a dead deer foot, so of course it does. Oh no! I crushed my nettles. Sorry, not my nettles, my thistles. I had a thistle leaf from Alabama in here, but it has broken. And it looks like, I can't tell if that's mold or if that's a spider web. I don't know. I'm going to put it back down. But yeah, thistles grew all up in my yard in Alabama. So I had to steal one. This right here is a hole punch. It's a leather hole punch that I got from one of my best friends, Dolly. She left it in my bedroom when we all moved out of the church. And I just kept it and I've had it forever. But I lose my belts a lot. I lose my belts a lot. So I always have to do adjustments to the new ones when I buy them. So this is actually really come in handy. But yeah, it's to punch holes. And I think it kind of looks like a monster. work out. Okay. Now, I think this is a screw starter. I don't know, actually. I just know that it's got like a pointy end. And it's got like ridges on it. You can see. So I don't actually know what it's for, but I think it's really cool. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I have this fork. I don't remember where I found this. So I know it was at an antique store. I don't know which one, but ouch, itchy. Yeah, I love my fork. I love my fork so much, big time. Now, I do know where I found this. This I found at Pioneer Village in Alabama. I have no idea what this is. It's got this interesting coal at the bottom that kind of reminds me of like a honeycomb thing, like you would see in the Honey Nut Cheerios. You know what I'm talking about? The thing that they use for honey. I left the tag on it. It came from Pioneer Village, which part of it did burn down last year, which is a very big tear. But then it has this hook at the end. But the hook is, it rattles. The hook is not very sharp, so I'd have to sharpen it, which I could technically do because I do have the tools for that. I don't know what that is. Here's one of my favorite things that I have is a rasp. I have a huge rasp, and I use this to sharpen my other tools. I use it to sharpen my ice picks, my awls. I use it to just anything that needs to be sharpened. I use this to sharpen. I just like that. Would I get rid of the rust? Oh, I would never get rid of the rust. I love them exactly as they are. I love things that are weathered. I don't necessarily like things that are new and pristine. I don't know. I love it because I don't know if you can read that, but right here it says flat bastard, and y'all can't see that, but it says flat bastard, which I love. I find that very funny. I actually used this rasp last night to sharpen my meat hook, which you can see it was not very sharp to begin with, but I got that motherfucker, freaking gotcha. Oh, you guys like my Switch carrying case? I left work early and went and sat at Walmart and talked to a bunch of old dudes who were in line for like 4 hours waiting for midnight so I could get that. I was second in line, and got the special edition. Ooh, there's tape on here. Let me get that off. I have this little knife that I found in Pioneer Village. I'm about to cut myself, y'all. Watch this. I'm about to cut myself on camera. Oh, nope, sure didn't. Yeah, I would never clean these things. I consider myself to be an extremely selective historical archivist. I just really love these old things as, relics of a past way of life, which I find very fascinating. But I love the little handle. It also reminds me of the little honeycomb thing. Looks like a little person. I feel like I could dress it up like a little doll. Yeah, so there's my meat hook. I have this thing. It looks like just like a drill bit. It's pretty cool. I really like it. I like the tip. So YouTube Live is the camera's reversed. So like if I go this way, I'm actually going that way. Which is like confusing to me. But yeah, it's like Avada Kedavra. I love a very long, like slender, but heavy and strong tool. I like things that are very nimble and very long. I used to love ripping off the antennas of old radios when I was a kid, like the extendable retractable ones, and I would use those as I would use them as wands and whatnot. Yeah, I used to always love that. All right, let's move on now to what the heck? One of my freaking tools just broke. All right. Anyways. Okay, so next we'll go to my awls. I do have a lot of them, so I'm gonna have to try to grab them all with one hand. Okay. I have a lot of them. I love awls. Wait, let me read. I'm not really into arrowheads. Hi. The eclipse was very magical. It made me cry. It was so fantastic. I actually got this cross. This cross was actually this cross, but I broke this necklace. But I kept the cross because I'd had that necklace for like 4 years. And then I had a little earring thing. So I just put the cross on that and put it in my ear. So it's from the same lady that makes these. I get them from somebody on Etsy. Okay. Yes, I listened to the new Waxahachie album. Everybody should go listen to it. Just phenomenal. Just so phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. I don't even have the words for it right now, but it's amazing. Right Back to It, I have had on repeat for I don't even know how long. I probably listened to it over 250 times in the past week. It's bad, but it's so good. It's just so good. Okay, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I do have a lot of awls. I love them. There's something just very like violent about an awl. It's so simple, but it's just right to the point. This one's really nice. This one's got a great taper. and a great point. I love this one. It's got a hook on the end. I think no. This was, I think, my second awl ever. This was my first awl. I found this one and I was, no, maybe it was this one. These kind of look the same. So I don't actually know, but it was one of these two. I think that it was this one. I think it was this one. And I found it and I thought, oh, wow, that you could, wow. So I've got quite a few. Now, there is a difference between an ice pick and an awl. I think the ice picks are the longer ones that you use to pick ice specifically, like hence, the Coca-Cola branding being on it. These are ice picks. These are awls. Awls are used to punch holes in leather, and I think also sometimes used in sewing. I just call all of them awls. Ice pick to me doesn't sound as cool as awl. Awl is just a really cool word. So I just refer to all of them as awls. So I can feel as though my collection is homogenous. But I've got quite a few of them. And this is not all of them, but I have so many at this point that I've just started to hide them around my house in like drawers and stuff. So there's a lot of them. This one is my favorite one. This one was a bulbous handle. It was shaped like a light bulb, which I hated that. It was not slim. It was not sleek. It was not streamlined. I didn't like it. So I whittled and carved it down into the shape of a cross. And I think I'm going to dip it in some stain. I don't like this unfinished, untreated wood look. I just haven't gotten to Home Depot to buy some stain yet, but at some point. But you know what I'm saying? Just like that. Woo! Yep, love that. So now I'll do quickly a demonstration of how I sharpen my awls. I usually just sit here like this one. This one could be sharpened. I'll put on a movie and then I'll sit there and I'll just wait. So this is what it looks like before. You can see it's kind of dull, not super crazy or anything. See, so I could get it sharper, but I'm not going to sit here and do this for forever. Probably bore you guys. Yeah, lots of awls, lots of great awls. I used to be into collecting scissors. Scissors used to be my thing. I'm not as into them as I was before. I just don't really find them that interesting anymore. I mean, I do find them interesting. This is my favorite pair of scissors that I have. Love them. Love that. It's a bit of a looser sound. That's a good one. Do you prefer the design over effectiveness or effectiveness over design? Well, I don't use these things for their intended purpose. Like I don't use ice picks to pick ice. So I prefer design, preferably over effectiveness, because that's what I like them for. I don't know what these are. It seems to be more of a clamp than scissors, but it has the same design and fulcrum and whatnot of a pair of scissors. So it's a pair of fucking scissors. I don't really show these off because they're new and from Amazon. They're from a pack of fish tank decoration tools, but I thought the curve was kind of cool. I bought these back in like 2016. My taste has changed. Let me put these back. So my favorite tool that I have in my collection. This is my favorite object that I own. It is my favorite thing. I don't remember where I found it. I believe that I found this at Pioneer Village. Yeah, I found this in Pioneer Village. I'm obsessed with it. It's my favorite thing ever. But it's a hook. And I can't quite figure out what hook this is used for. What this is used for, because I've looked up like hay bale hooks, but this is too small. Like this kind of looks like a hay bale hook. This is like a heavy duty farm tool. So I can't quite figure out what this would be used for, but I'm obsessed with it. I love this thing. This is the look. This is the good one. Like, you can't beat that. So good. So that's my hook. I love my hook. I do have a couple more tools I just got recently. I have it in my Texaco can that I bought in West Virginia. Excels all car manufacturer service requirements. This extra heavy-duty motor oil prolongs engine's life by preventing rust, corrosion, and wear. Lovely. So I have this screw starter, which you push it into something like that, and it has like some kind of a cold mechanism that makes it like twist, and you push it and it starts the screw, so you can kind of get a hole started to put your screw in easier. I think it's very cool. This is some kind of a tri-faced wedge. If you can kind of see the three faces on it, it's really cool. It's very heavy duty, very, like, you could fuck a bitch up with that for real. I keep it on my piano. This, I believe, is a chisel for woodworking, carpentry. Maybe I'll get into carpentry. Who knows? Love that. Love it. Love that edge. So sexy. Another chisel. Very cool. And then this weird little doohickey. I don't have a wine opener, so I usually use this to open wine bottles on the occasion that I drink, which is not very often, but often enough that I use this bitch. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a little like a screw tip on it, which is cool. Like that. But yeah, that's most of my small tools. I do have some that are nailed to the wall that I don't want to take down, but then all my other tools are big, my scythes and my sickles and my whatnot, my crowbars and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much all of them. I've always wanted to do a video showcasing them. But I didn't feel like sitting down and editing a whole video or whatever. Oh my God. A little thistle leaf has attached itself to me. Okay, now I will read what you guys are saying. I do not have a guillotine in my home. I sure do not. Do I like vintage radios? Yes, I have vintage radios right there. I have one there. I have another one on top of my bookshelf behind this thing right here. What does my room smell like? Currently, it smells like white sage incense. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I do own a pump organ. It's in my living room. I just got it a month or two ago. I love it. Where do I recommend getting these tools? I go into abandoned buildings a lot and houses, and I break and enter quite regularly. That's where I find a lot of my tools, and also just the antique store. But you have to go antiquing in Appalachia or the Midwest, because antiquing outside of those places is like asshole. You're not going to find anything. I think that white women have conflated the words antique with boutique, and the rest is history. And I have beef with them. But whatever, to each their fucking own, I guess. Whenever your husband works and you don't do anything all day, you have to have some kind of a hobby. My Music Vegan Invincible is really cool. I watched that show. I started watching it about a year ago. I never finished it, but so funny that televangelism made it in. My team tells me whenever my songs get like licensed and stuff for movies and TV, but I never really listen. I'm a bad listener. So whenever it shows up, I'm like, what the fuck? And so it happened whenever that Family Tree intro got put in Chucky. I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. And they were like, we told you about this 2 months ago. I think is very funny. I'm just kind of, cuckoo. I don't quite listen. How's my blackout tat? It's going good. It's finally healed completely, or mostly completely. So I'm going to get it touched up soon. It just hurt really bad, so I'm kind of dreading going back over it, but it is what it is. So that'll be fun. And I've got a couple other tattoos I want to get, so I'll probably just group them all and get them all done at the same time. Is it a movie? That's a movie collection in the background. No, right there. That's movies, DVDs, and video games. My books are there, and over there. You just can't see them right now. How's music writing been going? Music writing has been going great. I honestly had a really bad struggle with writer's block for a hot minute. Pretty much all through last fall, through the winter. But I'm finally coming back out of it. I took a trip to Florida for my birthday, and it really kind of reinvigorated me and brought me back to feeling how I felt when I first started making music, and kind of made me fall back in love with why I started making music. And you know, just it's really been reinvigorating my love of creating music. So it's been nice. I'm finally coming out of my dry spell, and you know, working my ass off and making a lot of things that I'm really happy with. So I'm really excited to, you know what that means, guys. Don't make me say it. This is not a Skims bra. This is a pink bra that I got at the mall. My best friend came to visit, and she had one and said she loved it. So I've always been very free the nipple. I've never worn a bra in my life. And I was like, fuck it. It'll be fun. Why not? Cage the nipple. What's a collab you've done that didn't release that you wish did? I read that as what's a collab you wish you didn't release. And I was like, I feel like you have an idea of that you would like to share with the class. But that's not what she said. I don't know. I don't really do that many collabs. I think all the ones I've done have come out. Any updates on the Preacher's Daughter book? Writing a book takes a long time. I've got a lot of stuff I'm doing right now. But yeah, I'm just kind of whenever things are meant to happen, they will happen. I am a very, very patient person, and I will create things as time allows and when I feel led to create those things. I don't want to put out a half-assed book. I've never written a book before, but I'm also very neurotic, and I can't have somebody else write it for me. So I've just been writing and scrapping and writing and scrapping and reading and writing and scrapping, and just trying to kind of hone my writing style and whatnot. And I'm sure it will be a good long while before that book comes out. But you know, I like to give things plenty of room to breathe and really foster a healthy creative environment, because I never want to feel like I'm creating because I have to. I always want to feel like I'm creating because I want to, because I think that yields the best results. So yeah, I don't know. Book, movie, all that shit. It is my highest goal. That's the way that I work. I set if I could have anything I wanted, if money and time was no object, I aim as high as I can go, and I work towards it. And if I, you know, die or lose a limb or something that hinders me from doing it before then, well, I had a good run. But that will be the kind of mountain on the horizon that I'm always going for. So who knows? I might be 50 before all this shit's done. I literally have no idea. But I don't know. I'm just having fun and working on it in the meantime. So yeah, it'll come at some point. But it's always on the horizon for me. So it's always in the back of my mind. So one of these days. But I'm really excited. I can't wait. Do you think your name will always be Ethel Cain? Well, on the topic of the last question, it'll take me forever to finish the Ethel Cain project. Like, this is going to be decades in the making. So by the time Ethel Cain is done, I will have put out so many other projects outside of Ethel Cain. when Ethel Cain is done, I will probably just retire, honestly, because it has such a long lifespan in my head of what I want. So yeah, I don't know. I'll be Ethel Cain for a very long time, if not. Any music genres you've been wanting to try? I want to try a lot of genres. There's a lot of good music out there. I would love to dip my toes into a folksier country sound. I would love to try hardcore at some point, even though I do not have the voice for it. I do want to try. I do want to try. I do want to put out like a straight up ambient album, like as a little side project, just a fully, completely ambient project. I think it'd be really fun. I want to do rap at some point. I think it would be really fun to try doing a rap song. So I don't know, like there's so much good music, so many avenues of good music that I'm inspired by, that I draw from when making my project. So I think it would be really fun to try all of them. But hopefully I'm alive for a long time, so I could very well dip my toes into all of them at some point. Whoa. I can't tell if y'all are asking the same questions or if I keep accidentally scrolling up, and this is confusing me. Have you ever been interested in the left-hand path or occultism? Not really. Occultism doesn't really appeal to me. I can see why it would appeal to others. But I don't really pay too much attention to any one thing to really get invested in it. I feel like life is a big antique store and I'm walking around and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. But I never stop and linger on something. Occultism doesn't really, I don't know. Maybe if I believed in it more, I would be like, yeah, I'm going to go full send edgelord and I'm going to summon a demon and like kill a bunch of people or something. But, to sell my soul to the devil and get superpowers, or like, I don't even actually know what occultism is. But I love dark stuff. I love, love, love dark stuff, but I do want to be happy. And I do want to fill my life with lightness and love and positivity and sunshine. So I try not to do that. I love when other people do dark stuff, but I just can't. There's a thing about darkness in Florida I'm from the Sunshine State. Like Florida is berated and barraged with pervasive sunlight. It is always bright. It's always beautiful. It's lush. It's green. So the darkness in Florida is beautiful. I think there's such a horror and eeriness that lies in this kind of sickly beauty of Florida. And that's why, I really love dark visuals and dark, scary things and topics and images. But the music, I always love it to be so lush and beautiful, because to me, there is an inherent fear and evilness kind of lurking in there, not entirely, but the doom and the fear, the anxiety is in extremely beautiful, lush things. And I think that's just a correlation that I have from growing up in Florida, because there's really not like a lot of doom and gloom in Florida. We don't get snow, the trees don't die, there's no barren winter landscapes. It's a perpetual, endless, beautiful, hot summer forever. And so you have to look a little harder for the sinister qualities in Florida, in the South, kind of in general, which is something I want to translate through my music. I don't think I could ever just do a straight up like doomy death metal, big heavy goth record, because I've tried it before it just doesn't work. It doesn't translate. I don't have the wellspring for that. So, do you remember me in the title fight shirt at the Halifax show? I sure fucking do. I remember seeing your shirt and being so happy. Do you have a ritual that you do before writing music or for your book? Notice how I lit that from the top and not the bottom. Thank you. I clarify that because there have been times when I'll have like a breakout and I don't really wear makeup. So when I have a breakout, I'm just like, I have acne and I don't cover it up. And I've seen people be like, is she on meth? Is she doing meth? I'm like, no, I just have really sunken in eyes and I have bad acne. So, but I do understand, maybe where the confusion comes from. I do not have a bong. I have very sensitive lungs. I have to smoke like a little bitty piper one hitter or like a joint. I can't do bongs. I hit a bong once when I was 20 and I thought that it killed me. It's awful. Are you removing your tattoos? No, I am never removing my tattoos. Well, actually, I say never, but I change my mind all the time. But currently, I do not want to remove my tattoos. I love my tattoos. There was a moment where I had so few that I thought, okay, I could still get these lasered and kind of have virgin skin. But then I kept tattooing myself. So at this point, it's like, I'm going to be tatted. So I'm never going to remove those. Hold on. I just saw what I thought was a very funny question. What's my affinity with Nebraska? Well, I love Nebraska for the same reason that Ethel Cain, the character, loves Nebraska. When I was growing up in Florida, we had a VBS, Vacation Bible School, that was about, it was called Ramblin' Road Trip, and it was about a road trip, and there was a stop in Nebraska on the road trip, and they kept referring to Nebraska as the heartland, and I always loved it because it just seemed so big and vast and empty, but in the very center of America. It's like dead smack in the center of America. And I always thought it would be a cool place to run away to and like be just in the center of all things, but be so alone. And that's kind of why I wrote House in Nebraska as kind of a ode to that feeling that I had growing up. So I think Nebraska is just really cool. And it's beautiful. I've been to Nebraska a couple of times and it's always an intensely magical experience. Favorite yaoi couple? Probably. I mean, Dramatical Murder was a huge for me in high school. Me and my best friends, I would go over to their house in high school. And it'd be like 6 fucking girls in a double sized bed listening to Dramatical Murder, like M-rated whatever, like audios, like the sex audios, and we would all be like, oh my god, so funny. I always loved Noise, and I always loved Mink. Those were always my favorite pairings. But Clear and oh fuck, who's the other guy? I always forget him. The guy with the long hair. I don't remember. I never really loved him too much. They're all so hot though. Yowie. Can you emphasize more on the proximity to God video? I think I will. I would love to do a long form ramble video about that because that was fun. I was thinking about that video the other day, and I was showing a friend of mine the diagram last night. What is your opinion on people hating on simple album covers that don't fully show women's faces and bodies, like Brat and Ariana's new album? I think it's stupid. Like if you're using Brat by Charlie as an example, is she not on every other one of her artworks? Can she do something else? I think that, I mean, it's kind of just a pop machine though, I guess, pop. And this is one of the reasons that I've always avoided the pop sphere. I love pop music, but I always wanted to avoid the pop treatment because I see the way that women get treated in pop music. Because you're not just supposed to make good pop music. You have to be fuckable. You have to be hot. You have to be pretty. You have to be a good dancer. You have to sell yourself. You have to be a product as well as your music, which is stressful. And God forbid a woman in pop wants to branch out and do something else. Whenever you give people a taste of pop or something that they love, they're like hooked on it and they want it all the time, and they want the same thing, but they want it in a new way, but it has to be the same thing. Basically, it's kind of an impossible task at hand. And it's just, I don't know. It's funny, but yeah, let the girls do what they're going to do. Like, let them innovate. Let them have fun. Pop music is supposed to be about having fun. Don't be such a fucking fed about it. Do you think it's ever too late to start creating? No. As long as you're living and breathing, you are ingesting things. You are ingesting the life around you, your experiences, and you can recontextualize them into something that means something to you and put it back out. Anybody can make art. I've always said that. Some people might make art that is more meaningful and to others, not more meaningful, but more meaningful to others, to more people. Some people might go far and wide with their art. Some art might be more technically complex and be more interesting or more appealing to the masses or whatever, but all art is valid. If something elicits a response in you that you enjoy, whether it's good or bad, if something elicits a response in you that you enjoy feeling and you get something out of it, then that's art. And it's good art because you appreciate it. Art is extremely subjective. And I talk shit about some art all the time. I am no stranger to talking shit about art and being like, that's not art. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But if it does something for somebody, it's art. And nobody has enough jurisdiction to talk shit about it. So, do you keep up with meme culture? I do not. I only have my YouTube and my Instagram at this point, and I don't check them very often. I've been trying to come off the internet a bit, as I have repeated ad nauseum, which is ironic because here I am on the internet. But I don't keep up with meme culture anymore, which I love because now I have my friends who are older than me explain me memes, and I go, wait, so what does that mean? And which I think is infinitely more hilarious than the meme itself. What do you think about, where is that question? Hold on. What are your thoughts on album covers that don't resonate with the album itself? Everything that artists do is for a reason, whether it's a good reason or a bad reason, a meaningful reason or a monetary reason, whatever it is. Every artist has a reason for doing the things that they do. So I don't think any album cover does not resonate with its record. If the people consuming the record don't pick up on the correlation, that's fine. Maybe they're not meant to, but I can guarantee you there is a correlation because the artist did it for a reason. even if that's a nonsensical reason, they did it for a reason. So I don't think any album art doesn't resonate with the record. And oftentimes, if I see a record with an album cover that doesn't match the vibe of the album, in my opinion, I always try to, it makes me think maybe there's something I'm not picking up on here. So maybe I need to do another lap and really try to figure out and pair the visuals to the music. Do I, oh, and it's gone. I cannot read these. They keep jumping around. Skull Kid Son or Midna Daughter? Skull Kid Son across the fucking board. Skull Kid Son. Skull Kid, listen, I used to tweet about Skull Kid being in Hyrule Warriors for probably like 2 years. Like from the day that game came out, I was posting about it. And then like 2 years go by and they added him. And I said, I've prayed for this. I have waited for this. I've asked for this. I am so used to giving. And now I get to receive. I love Skull Kid. That's my baby. For real. Do you love wet plate collodion photo prints? Absolutely. I wanna work with them soon. I do. But it needs to be correct. Do you like experimental ambient like Aphex Twin? I'm not too much Aphex Twin. I do have number 3 on my phone. That's the only one of his songs that I've heard that I've really gotten into. I like ambient to be simple and quiet. So anything that requires more like active listening as opposed to passive listening doesn't really do it for me. It kind of defeats the purpose of why I listen to ambient music. The Waltons or Little House on the Prairie. Girl, don't do it to me. Don't do that to me. X or Pearl? X all the way. X all the way. Have you seen the Maxine trailer? I have, and I'm very excited to see it. I can't wait to watch it. Okay, we're reaching an hour, so I should probably skedoodle. But I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Have you ever been an exotic dancer? No, I cannot dance to save my fucking life. I dance like Tina from Bob's Burgers. Why did you choose Strangers to end the album rather than Sunbleached Flies? Sunbleached Flies is the end of the record in the same way that American Teenager is the beginning of the record. Family Tree intro and Strangers are opening and closing credits. Sunbleached Flies is the penultimate grand finale of the record. You know, when the big moment happens. And then Strangers is kind of like when the credits start rolling and it says, Ethel Cain was found by the police. Her mother, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, like at the end of like what, fucking Legally Blonde or something. Family Tree intro and Strangers are in caps. American Tradition, American Teenager, and Sunbleached Flies are the narrative end caps, while Strangers and Family Tree intros are more thematic end caps, and they kind of wrap up the story. But Sunbleached Flies is kind of the end of the story. Thoughts on King Woman? That's my baby. I love Chris with all of my heart, and we are going to get married one day. Any clues on how the next albums are going to sound? I literally do not know how they're going to sound until they're done because they fluctuate so wildly between sounds. As I work on them, I don't know until it's done. It's like the wheel of fortune. It just spins and whatever it lands on to me. I have no idea. Will Waco be on the next album? Yes. Emma Crellin daughter or Patrick Bates son? Don't ask me no stupid fucking questions. Thoughts on women? Love. Love. Love women. Favorite slowcore albums? Oh god. Angel showed me Things We Lost in the Fire by Low recently, which I really love. I love Ghost of the Highway by Sun Kill Moon. If you can call that slowcore, I don't actually think that you can. Maybe you can. I don't know. Whatever. Slowcore is kind of difficult to pin down. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, anything by Duster, of course. I don't know. My dominant hand is my left hand, but I am ambidextrous. But I write with my left hand. Thoughts on how to approach being sad about people not fucking with your music or art? It's difficult, but it's universal. Every time an artist puts out something into the world, it opens it up from being a tiny insular thing that is just yours that you love and hold dear. And you see a lot of opinions about it. And you kind of just have to take some time to like spiral a little bit. It's really mind-boggling to deal with, but every single artist goes through it. Every single artist. So you kind of just have to like give yourself the space to do it and get over it. Feel everything you're going to feel about it and then move on. And that's coming from me. At some point, you have to get over it. Do you ever not like your art after you put it out in the world? Only time I don't like my art after I put it out in the world is if it's just kind of like I could do better now. Like I could do it better. But that's always. You're always learning and growing. So you can always do you did. You could do it better now. And that's natural. But I've definitely done that with all of my projects. And I probably will continue to do it with all of my projects forever. I'm going to do 3 more questions. Any advice for recording and making music despite not having any equipment to? When I first started making music, I had an old MacBook and those little like iPod head like earbuds that they give you with the microphone. I recorded my first 2 projects with that, and then recorded everything after that up until Inbred with a microphone that I got on Amazon for like $60. And I used GarageBand until I eventually wound up moving on to a cracked version of Logic that I got off the internet. You don't need a lot of tools to make good music. It helps tremendously. But when you're starting out, you can make sound. I had a friend who produced an entire project of hers in high school in Audacity. Like, you just kind of have to start small and just work with what you have. And if you love what you do, and if you love the music and you have a passion for it, like, it will find a way to make its way into the world. So yeah, you just kind of have to go for it. You have to go for it and just start making stuff. And the thing about making stuff is, if you don't like what you made, you can make something else. So if you thought that what you just did was bad, do another one and do it better. And just keep doing that. That's how I got here. You kind of just have to put aside your ego and be willing to be very bad at something for a very long time. But you have to do it if you love it. If you love it, you have to do it. So that's literally the only advice that I know to say. That was one. Is there any lore that you'd take out of the canon? No. No. Everything that I have said regarding the story, and also I do want to say real quickly, it's not necessarily lore. I guess it is lore, but it's like a story. It's a story that I wrote. And I think I wouldn't take anything out of the canon. I think I just wouldn't have said so much about the record. I think I should have maybe waited to write the book and just not have mentioned the story so publicly, because a lot of it was told through Tumblr asks and Genius annotations and in interviews. It's very pieced together, and I think that has led to a lot of telephoning with the story. I've seen some crazy theories about Preacher's Daughter on the internet over the past 2 years. And I think that was my fault for telling the story in such a non-linear, like all over the place way. So I think I've just I don't take back any of the lore, but now that I can see how it's gotten a bit jumbled, I think I'm just going to not talk anymore about it until I can write the book and really tell the story front to back correctly, so people have like a canon source to read from and say, oh, of course, I see now. So that's kind of what, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Okay, this is a good last question. Do you enjoy the parts of the album that aren't to do with making music, like album art, music videos, or promotion? I love all of it. That's why I do all of it. I hate it, but I love it. It's exhausting, but like it's more work for me to do and my team to do. It's because I still have a very, very tiny team like I've had since I started. And it's a lot of work for us to do, but I love to be able to be in control of the tiny details. I'm very, very grateful for my team. I'm very, very grateful for each and every one of them and all of their hard work and their efforts. And it is very exhausting for us to have to do things that we could just as easily outsource. But I love knowing that everything comes from in-house and we do it ourselves and everything is intentional and everything, while not the greatest quality and, maybe not as advanced as maybe other artists would be, I love to know that we did it all ourselves. And also we will get there someday, but we will get there ourselves and we will know how to do it. Rather, if it's within my ability to learn to do something, I would rather learn to do it and teach myself how to do it so I can do it myself than just pay someone else to do it. And then I never know. So I love to be in the saddle. And while it's a varied, a lot of highs and lows. Sometimes it's exhausting and it makes me want to rip all my hair out. And sometimes it's just the best feeling ever. But I don't know. For all of the setbacks and the drawbacks and the tough times, both physically and mentally, so far in my career, I am so, so grateful for every opportunity that I've been given. I'm so, so grateful that all of my hard work has paid off. All the hard work of my friends and my team, my family have paid off. I'm just so grateful that I can be here living this life as I live it now. Just taking it slow, being easy, being quiet, just making things that mean something to me and putting it out into the world and being able to make a living off of it. It's all worth it. And I love to know that we do it all ourselves. I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy. I have very, very, very big goals, but I do not think that I could ask for or expect anything more than I have in this moment. I'm very happy with where I'm at in my life, and I am very grateful to all of you also for showing up and chit-chatting with me and being very patient with me while I am insanely insane and I do what I do. But yeah, I really appreciate all you guys' enthusiasm and adore y'all so much. And I'm very excited to put out, new stuff. Not too long, shortly, but whatever I'm trying to say. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching me show off my sharp objects and asking me questions and hanging out with me. I'm going to go work. Hopefully my manager doesn't see this live or she will yell at me because I'm supposed to be doing stuff right now. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Love you all so much. And until next time. Bye guys.